Hi, welcome to Book Talk. Okay, no, I'm embarrassed. I can't. I'm sorry, I have to close the windows. Hi, and welcome to Book Talk with Lainey because I talk about books and I'm Lainey. I'm sorry if I'm sweating through this video. It's summer. I have a rooftop room, so I already mentioned that in my last video. Very hot, so excuse me. Also, I just woke up. But I have to record this now because my poor baby, my dog, I have to go to the vet with him in the afternoon. He's fine, but he comes first, you know. I'll do anything for this, for my dog. I love him so much. Shelf looks a little sad in the background. I saw probably people who've done this before her and other creators, but I saw Emma's guys on TikTok doing this series of will I finish this series, and I thought this was so cool. I'm gonna tag her. There are probably people who have done this before her, but she's the one that I noticed who did this. So if there's an original character, tag them. You know, we don't want to steal ideas like other people do with my videos. Anyway, let's go. Okay, but first, I'm finally gonna fucking do a thumbnail. Like, oh, keep forgetting to do thumbnails, and then I have to take some fucking screenshot. Oh, how am I gonna do this? There's so many books. I have big hands, so I can hold books.
Okay, thumbnail done.
So before we start, this is just my opinion, okay? There is no right or wrong. But in case you believe that I do have to read the book 2, it's better than book 1, let me know. But like I said, just let's be nice because it's just my opinion, okay? There is no need to be angry if I don't like your favorite book. I'm glad if you liked it, you know? First book is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Now, I absolutely love this book. I don't know, it has been going on TikTok that people started to not like this book. I really liked it, and I was planning on reading the second one. I do own the second one, and I've read half of it, but the second book just didn't intrigue me as much, so I'm probably not gonna read it. So maybe if there's a third book, I'm not sure if there's a third book coming out, probably. And I maybe will read it, but as for now, I'm probably not gonna read it. Throne of Glass. Now, I wanted to take this into this video as well, because, listen, the Throne of Glass series is a big fucking commitment, okay? And my goal, my original goal for this year, or in general for the Throne of Glass series, I read the first 3 books in like 4 days. And then I realized there are like 8 books or 9 books or whatever, Heir of Fire, in January this year. And then I said to myself that I want to read 1 book each month. Did I hold up to that? No. And it's still, where am I at now? Empire of Storms. That's Empire of I'm currently at Empire of Storms. That is
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
With the novella, like the prequel, the 6th book. The thing is, now, I have a photographic memory, which is the reason why I cannot reread. But I listen to a lot of audiobooks, right? I listen to Queen of Shadows as an audiobook. And the thing is, I have an audiosensory disorder, means that's from my ADHD, means if I don't focus exactly on you, literally the words come in and out, I will not even process. That's why music is really hard for me, but I explain it usually as it's like listening to someone talk in a foreign language. You hear them talk, but you don't understand it. And because of that, I wanted to read the next book, but I completely forgot what everything was about. I couldn't remember for the life of me. And then I tried to watch videos make myself getting spoiled, but nobody did a good job of it. No offense. I thought to myself, what if I just reread the entire thing? Like, challenge myself a bit. I couldn't do it, okay? Having a photographic memory isn't always as fun as it sounds. So now I'm definitely gonna read it, but I don't know how or where and when. So that's it. Now, 6 of Crows. I already mentioned this in another video. I did not enjoy this book as much as I thought I did. I do own Wicked Kingdom. As for now, I'm not planning on reading it. I will maybe in the future, but as for now, I am not. Once Upon a Broken Heart. Yes. No questions needed. Loved A Bella Never After. I am
Waiting for the 3rd book to come out.
Yes, absolutely loved it. This is one of my favorites. I love them so much. 4th Wing. Is this even a question? I think we all are just waiting for November to come around, because what is this cliffhanger? If you haven't read this book, what are you doing? But if you have read this, you know what I'm talking about. This book, the fact that she's planning on doing like quite the series out of it, yes, absolutely, 100% yes. A Broken Blade by Melissa Blair. Yes. This is really funny. I went to London in May, and this was like the book that I was hoping to find, because where I live, which is really sad, but I have almost no chance of getting, like, my bookstore doesn't openly sell, not because they're against it, but... Hi, this is me editing again. I think this is like a reoccurrence in my video now, but I completely misspoke. Not misspoke, but what I meant to say is, with openly selling, they're not selling the books in the store in person on the display, because they're not the first priority where I live. They're just extremely hard to print because they're not like printable in our country. That means they're extremely expensive to purchase, if that makes sense. Getting indie author books are only available online, and they're extremely expensive. And I either get them like online from the bookstore or from Amazon. And this was really, I really wanted to find this because I've heard so much good stuff about it and I loved it. And I know book 2 just came out, but it's not available where I live right now, but I really want to read it. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. One of my dear friends, Ashley, it's one of her favorite books. They absolutely love this book, and I understand why. I loved it, and I don't know why I haven't gotten around to read the 2nd book yet, but obviously yes, because V.E. Schwab. Can you hear that? Is that an owl? Weird. I live next to a park with birds. It's literally called Bird Park. So, you know, Little Thieves. Stated multiple times, I do not like this book, so no, I'm not gonna read the 2nd book. I'm also not sure if it's a sequel or it's just a part of the... I have no idea, but I'm not gonna read this book because I didn't like it, and no. Legendborn by Tracy Dion. Yes. 100% yes. I remember reading the 1st book. I finished it, and then the only purpose of me leaving the house was going to the bookstore to get the 2nd book, because I couldn't... I literally finished the book, got dressed, and left. And then, it was so... Jesus. I drove to the, like, closest bookstore that is already a half an hour away. They didn't have it. Then I went to the next bookstore. They also didn't have it. And then there was this little bookshop at a train station, and I was like, they always have, like, the book that I'm looking for. You know, those stores that just randomly always have what you need. And the bookshop closed for good. And then I thought, you know what? I'm already out. Let's go to the bookstore that I usually go to, because it's an hour away. And then my headphones died. And then I went home.
And I read it on my Kindle.
Because I just had to. I read both books in 2 days. So yes, I'm obviously reading book 3. Which is funny because I didn't think I was gonna enjoy this. I'm not a huge fan of urban fantasy, but this book made it so good. Like, I don't like urban fantasy. If you don't know what urban fantasy is, it's fantasy that is playing in our timeline, because I don't like technology, like phones, pop culture references in my books, but this book actually made it really good. So yes, 100% yes. River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross. Now, I know there's a second book, and I was really excited to read this because I read this after Divine Rivals, which is also by Rebecca Ross. This book is very beautiful. Very slow pace, and it's very cozy fantasy, which I think I have to be in the mood for enjoying it. And I kind of had to push through it because it was just really slow paced. So I don't think I'm gonna read book 2. I can live with ending at this point. A Serpent in the Wings of Night. Now, when I first read this book, I didn't enjoy it, but I gave the book 3 stars. But then I couldn't stop thinking about it, and I gave it 4 stars. The second, like the sequel came out, I ordered it, but then I found out, which leads us to the next book, Daughter of No Worlds. Books are both by Carissa Broadbent, that these, I think, collide, like they belong together, and you have to read the novella first, and I don't know if I'm up for that. So I already mentioned in another video that I didn't enjoy this, but I do want to give it another shot. So I'm on the edge right now of rereading this book, which I usually don't. I don't reread. So the question is, we're gonna put the second book on hold at the moment. I'm gonna reread the series because I own the entire series first, and then. So at the moment, it's a no until I read this one. And the thing is, I wasn't planning on reading this series at all, but I think I really have to read the first book again. So these are a maybe. Now, the fine print. I already said this on my TikTok when somebody asked me to do a review on them. And the answer is no. I'm not gonna continue the series. It's an easy answer because I'm not a romance girly. I am a I'm a romantasy girly, okay? I read my fantasy romance. And I honestly thought at the beginning that this was romance, a fantasy romance, because there was one sequence where it said the two-headed something, and I literally thought it was a two-headed, but it's not. It's just romance, so it's not my thing. I really enjoyed this book, even though it's dual POV, which I don't enjoy, and it was kind of miscommunication, which I also don't enjoy. It was interesting. It was a fun little read. But I couldn't care less about the rest. I know book 2 and 3 are about his brothers, but I don't care. They haven't been mentioned enough in this book for me to like actually care about the rest. Invested in Rowan and Zara, but the brothers haven't been mentioned enough for me for actually wanting to know what happens. So no, I'm not gonna continue reading it. I'm not gonna continue reading. I'm really sorry for the people who, I know this series is very popular, but that's just my opinion. Very boring. Easy, yes. I'm currently reading the second book. This has been on my TBR for ages, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up sooner. It's so good. Why aren't people talking more about this book? The Prison Healer. Yes, I'm currently on book 3. So, yes. It's really cool. It's really good. I didn't enjoy the second book as much because it's exactly what I don't like in a book. But the first book is so good. It's so cool, so fun. And the second book is just... I gave the first book 4 stars, the second book 3 stars, and I hope the third book is gonna take it all together because it needs a good ending. Now, I don't know how many people know this. These books have been popular on BookTok a few years ago, so I'm not sure. It's Crave by Tracy Wolff. Here I was in my I need to annotate everything because everything I think is important and everything in the book is important, like it's not in the fucking book. Like, fucking idiot. You can see that I thought I was the shit. Really weird because I marked every fucking chapter. What the fuck's wrong with I did that with every book. I I marked every chapter. And then when there was dual POV, I chose different colors for each person. Really fucking weird. I don't know. I read this book, I think, a year ago or 2 years ago. I have to check. I'm not sure. And I really ate this up. I loved it. And I also read the second. Look at that. What? Can you see the border? That's where I marked. That's where I tabbed the fucking chapter. I'm such a dumbass. Whatever. The second book kind of did it for me. I own book 3 and 4. I never read them. And as for this point, I'm not going to continue this series because this was kind of a downfall. This was really good, but this was not for me. And that's it. Like, not going to read that. I think that rounds it up. Like I said, if you think I have to read this next book because for some reason, if you agree, if you disagree, just be nice. I'm very sorry for being all shiny, but it's very hot. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, give it a like, follow. If not, that's cool. We're chill. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Happy reading, and I'll see you in the next one. And I love you. Bye.